Welcome. This is Shelley Netco, life coach, mind and spirit motivator. Today, the subject of teens and the parent trap is on my mind. And I just wanted to share some thoughts on that. You know, many things have been said about raising teenagers. Many things have been felt. Many of them are so raw, you might not have the words for them. Some of them might be forgetful. Some of them might be fun and full of ups and downs. Some might be irrational and emotionally charged. Some days you might feel like you're living with one person in the morning and another in the evening. I can remember when I was raising my teens, and some days their needs might be like a toddler's, and another day it was like I was living with my mother. Of all the things that have been said about raising teens, not very often would you hear, "Wow, this is so fun. My teen is so delightful." I mean, think about it. It just doesn't happen. But I will say it is absolutely memorable. It's fun and it's exciting. But just like any situation, if you get caught up and you focus on what troubles you're stumbling over, they'll just seem bigger. So many parents get caught in the trap of the power struggle. Those are the worst. They believe they have the ability to completely control not only the behavior, but the thoughts and the mindset of their teen. Well, let me just tell you, this is insane. You can't control theirs any more than they can control yours. And if you do jump into this power struggle, nobody wins. But there is some help, moms and dads. I have some survival techniques, and they should help you get through with a little less stress anyway. So here's some simple approaches. Number 1, treat your teen respectfully. Just like with people you work with, or friends, or family members, if you treat someone with respect, they'll probably treat you with more respect. It's a simple rule, kind of like the golden rule. Number 2, listen to what he or she has to say with more than your ears. Listen with your heart, listen with your mind. If you do this, it will keep you from formulating your answer halfway through their sentence and interrupting, which is, let's face it, disrespectful. And oftentimes we're so frustrated with a situation that we're not even willing to listen. So we shut them down. And that just leads to poor communication. Number 3, show them love every day, even when they disappoint you. Actually, especially when they disappoint you. Because when that happens, they're carrying around guilt and shame and sadness and a whole laundry list of emotions that aren't good. And that's when they need love the most. And especially if there's other siblings in the house and they see you being loving and kind to them, but you're cold and distant to your teen just because they disappointed you, that's not fair. Number 4, remember always that their brains don't work like yours. There's a billion hormones and rewiring and all kinds of things going on structurally, and then their thoughts are bouncing off the inside of their head a million miles an hour, and they don't even know how to handle them. They don't know who to ask. They don't know what to do. They're in situations they don't know what's going on. So just try to be nice. And if you find yourself starting to lose your temper, just walk out of the room, regroup for a second, and then come back in and re-engage with your conversation. I promise you it will go better. Number 5, try not to judge when they tell you stories about what's going on in their life. One of the things that will keep you close is communication. And the foundation of communication is trust. So if you start judging in the middle of your conversation when they're telling you about something they did with friends or something their friends did with someone else, it'll be shut down immediately. That'll be the end of it. And you want to keep those lines open because that'll keep you connected. Number 6, be consistent. Your teen needs consistency as much as they did in the toddler years. Like when they touched the hot stove or started to reach for a lamp or something that you knew was going to cause a problem and you said no every time. Imagine if you only said no once and then the next time they went over and reached for the hot stove or pulled a lamp cord or something like that. You need to be consistent with a teenager. Consistency with rules and discipline will translate to safe. And your child needs to feel safe right now at this time of life. There's too much going on outside the walls of your house where they could possibly feel unsafe or just not quite know what to do. And once they come home and shut the door, safe is good. Number 7, create clear boundaries. That's with boyfriends, girlfriends, friends in general. Much like consistency, boundaries will prove more than you are in charge as a parent, but will let them know what the limits are before they test them, and boy, will they test them. It's just a rite of passage. Number 8, stay connected. Purposefully do things together. As a family, as a parent, just do things. Don't lose sight of your relationship just because of the time of life you are in. You'll miss out on some of the greatest joy you could ever experience. Resist the urge to take the easy road and allow friends to take over. The results will be anything but ideal. Number 9, force your teen to participate in family functions no matter how much they complain. And when they do, make them leave the phone behind, turn it off, hide it in your purse, leave it in the car, whatever you have to do. But even if they stand there with their arms folded, head down, big frown on their face, once they get in there and start doing things, there's going to be some little shred of enjoyment. And at the end of the day, or a year from now, or 5 years from now, somebody will have a little story to tell where they'll say, remember when you were grumpy and you didn't want to do whatever we were doing and you didn't want to go to the party and then everybody ended up having fun, and it'll be a good story, I promise. Number 10, monitor or limit social sites, social media. Yep, I said it. Not too many people have the guts to say it or do it, but the fastest track to losing touch is surrendering your teen's cyber life and acting like you can't do anything about it. Well, guess what? You can and you should. If you want to stand a chance at maintaining a relationship and getting through teen years with slightly smooth sailing and somewhat choppy waters, this might be your secret weapon. Can you imagine if you just hand a phone to your child at 14 and didn't have any rules or curfews on phones or restrictions or monitoring or questioning or anything, and they just could do whatever they wanted? Texting at 3 a.m., Snapchat, on any sites they wanted, with no rules, restrictions, guidelines, boundaries, or anything? Pretty sure that wouldn't go that well. So Monitor, be aware, set some boundaries, and be in charge. You're the parent, don't forget. A lot of parents lose sight of that. So I have to say, after raising a handful of teens myself and looking in the rearview mirror, without a doubt, these were some of the best years of our lives. We have some great stories to tell, some great years to look back on, and I wouldn't change that for anything. So the secret is to stay connected. Be respectful. Don't forget about the love. And don't forget about those displays of affection that are oh so rare and oh so gentle. And be careful where you do it, because you certainly don't want to let their friends see you pat them on the back or hold their hand or do something that looks like you love them in front of them. Yikes. Well, that's all for today, friends. Thanks for listening. So until next time, remember, we're all in this together.